Get your morning started the right way with the AM Caffeine Morning Show.
There it is, Charlie Mack. Yes. Charlie Mack. So much to talk about, so much ground to cover.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it, bro.
First off, born and raised in Philly?
Born and raised in Philadelphia.
Born and raised in Philadelphia.
Yes, sir.
And as your journey, in Philly, junior high, high school, and did you have aspirations of being involved in the entertainment industry, or did it just happen? How did it even happen?
How did it happen? My initial entry into anything entertainment was me seeing anything that connected with me was 1976.
Okay.
Bicentennial year. Kenny Gamble, Philly International.
Gamble and Huff.
Gamble and Huff. He did an event called Clean Up the Ghetto.
Okay.
And y'all may want to look into it at some point. He did a record. So all his groups, he took them throughout, in particular South Philly, and he took his artists, Patti LaBelle, Billy Paul, McFadden and Whitehead, Mother, Father, Soul Band. He took all his groups and he cleaned up the community.
Okay.
And it was weird because, again, at 11 years old, why would I connect with this man pretty much creating this event?
Right.
Not the artist.
Right.
Like, I was locked into
him. Mm-hmm.
At 11 years old. And I was hooked at that moment in terms of I want to do that. I didn't even know what that was. But I want to do that.
Right.
Right. So then from there, I started going down to the Sixers facility at the point, Spectrum.
Right.
And I started going to the Veterans Stadium. And so I became really cool with Will Montgomery, Harold Carmichael, Ray Ellis, Darryl Dawkins, Clint Richardson, Franklin Edwards.
Are these players on the Sixers?
Players
Oh,
on
okay.
the Sixers and the Eagles.
I mean, when you said Harold Carmichael, he was such a beast.
Yes, beast.
Okay.
He was such a beast.
He was Megatron before Megatron.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Megatron before
Absolutely.
He used to kill it.
Right.
What? I used to be like, dang.
Marlo, shut the hell up, because you have no idea who Harold Carmichael is.
That's okay. I know who Harold Bell is.
So from that, again, at this point, I'm saying I'm at about 13, 14 years old, and I actually had a growth spurt. You know what I mean? So I went from, 5-something to about 6'4".
Okay.
Right?
At what
14.
Jesus.
At 14. So then
Were you playing sports?
I was. That's what I'm saying. So I was like, when I say crazed Sixers fan, I would cut out every clipping every day. I had my whole room wallpapered with Eagles clips and Sixers clips.
Right.
And I was crazed about, I was like, I'm going to be a basketball player. I wanted to be a ball boy.
Okay.
But the thing about it is that it was weird because I was so cool with all the players, but I think it became a situation where they were so, he's with me. But I never got the job of being a ball boy. Although I wanted to be a ball boy.
Right.
I never got the opportunity. But from there, I don't know how it happened, but it happened. My mother and father broke up around 76. And so times got a little rough. So I became a street pharmaceutical agent.
Agent.
A street pharmaceutical agent.
At a very young age, like literally like probably around 13.
Wow.
Yeah, I was writing numbers at 11.
Wow.
But I had 250 kids that night.
Wow.
So so that really the thing that bit me.
Right.
Like, wow, like people gonna come and I wrote out I still have let me tell you the irony about it. I have the flyer from my party that I wrote out with my hand.
That's crazy.
Right?
So you wrote out the flyer and made copies?
I made copies of it.
And then you were just handing them out.
You would hand them out and staple them on the trees and things like that.
Right.
And I put them up, and so when that happened, I was like, that's when Charlie Mack Productions was born.
Right.
It happened. I was like,
where does the Mack come from? Good, Marlo.
Okay.
Where did the Mack come from?
You know, everything was like Don Mack, this Mack, Ron Mack.
Was that around the Mack, the movie?
Yes, yeah, it was like that, right? So everybody was Mack, and they was throwing that on their name. So I just was like, okay, I'm Charlie Mack.
Right.
And it was just like, it was a combination of somebody giving it to me in addition to, you understand, you're a young African-American, I'm about 6'4", 6'5", I'm making a couple dollars, I'm hustling, and so I'm having my way with the young ladies.
Right.
Having my way. Oh,
yeah.
And what would that be?
You was truly Mack. You was Macking.
I was having my way, and then again, it kind of just took on a life of itself. You know what I mean? So again, really, I'm saying I always tell people I'm not Charlie Mack because I drive Mack trucks.
Right.
Because I was doing my thing.
Right.
You know, again, I'm a young, slender young man. You know
right.
You know, making a couple dollars because again, there ain't too many young boys 14, 15 years old walking around with $5, $6, $10, $15,000 at a time.
Right.
You're
With the
doing
young
it.
boys.
You're really not doing that. You know what I mean? I used to pay for my whole league fee. I would buy my whole team's uniforms and pay for the whole league fee at 15 years old.
Wow.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Literally. You know what I mean? So things were, but I didn't realize at the time that my fortune was someone else's misfortune.
Right, exactly.
You know, from me hustling.
Right.
So again, I always say you accountable for things you know, not for things you don't know. So once I got locked up the first time, this is how I actually, it was weird how it happened. So I got locked up on July 7th, 1987. Then I got locked up July 30th of 1987. And then Jeff came to me, and at the time.
So we're talking about Jeff. We're talking about Jazzy Jeff.
Right, Jazzy Jeff.
The one
and
and only.
I threw my Charlie Mack. It was May 7th. I had threw the Charlie Mack first annual Hustle Convention.
Hustler Convention? Wait, no.
Yeah.
Really? That was the name of it?
That was the name of it, right? I had Stetsasonic performing.
Oh.
Where did you have it?
I had it at, and there's irony, it's crazy. It's called the Southwest Castle. So some woman gave me the flyer of my night of doing that. I purchased the building to actually create the Charlie Mack Care Center that I'm actually doing now. Physical fitness, education, and arts for kids. So I bought the building. That's everything that I dirtied up.
Right, you're going to clean it up.
Yeah, so I'm doing a center there for kids. But anyway, so from that, just doing it. So at the time,
you're not going to spit over that.
No,
Hold
when
on.
I got locked up.
The Hustlers Convention.
No, I'm
what did you learn at the Hustlers Convention?
It was just
a title.
Just a name, right?
Yeah.
But it really, it wasn't just a title because all the hustlers were there.
Right.
All the hustlers, because hustling was a major thing. Of course, it is today, but I'm saying at that point.
And at that point, you kind of were cool with everybody because
cool
you was in the street making moves.
Not only that, though, I'm saying I was dealing with the local, like, Wendy Williams of Philadelphia.
Okay.
So I was like, at that point, I was 18 years old. She was 31 years old. So Mimi Brown.
Right.
So she's this big on-air jock. I'm hustling in the streets. You know what I mean? I'm having it my way, like, totally. So I got Mimi shout me out on the radio. They call me Sky King. I got her candy red Mercedes-Benz. I'm driving in the hood. I'm just having it my way.
Right.
I'm just really having it my way. So from that, from doing the parties, Jeff, it was weird because I would, my first entertainment friendship was with Dougie Fresh.
Okay.
I did Dougie Fresh, Parliament, and I did Roxanne Shante.
Okay.
Right? So my relationship with Dougie was spawned at that point.
And when you said you did, you're talking about...
Produced it.
Okay.
Produced the show. Along with a friend of mine named Bobby Kahn.
Okay.
So we became tight, and I started producing shows with him, and then when I started dating Mimi would give me artists, like, artists come in.
Because they come through the station and all that. Right.
So I started doing shows. So let me tell you, irony about it, I did Stetsasonic, and then I did Biz Markie and Roxanne Shante. Biz brought this kid with him and said, "Before I finish my show, you mind if my friend comes up here and perform?" And he comes up and he says, "R.A.W. a terrorist."
Big Daddy Kane.
First time he ever performed that record was in my building.
Wow.
Right. It was 6 months before Raw came out.
Wow.
Right. So again, it was crazy. That was really crazy. So,
and that's the GOAT. Everyone who knows me knows Big Daddy Kane is my all-time favorite MC forever. Mount Rossburn, nobody can ever move him.
All day.
Yeah.
So we do the show, and I'm in my zone. So Jeff would see me with all these groups thinking I was doing security.
Yeah.
So unbeknownst to me, he comes to my show and says, "Do you think you can work with us? We have a record out called Girls Are Waiting in My Trouble. What do you think?" I was like, "Work with you?" Now, mind you, I had 2 cases at the time. Right? I had 2 open cases at the time. So 3 felonies is a federal case.
Right.
So it was like perfect timing. So I was walking around with goobs and gobs of money in my pocket. They were just making about $1,000 a show. Jazzy Jeff Fresh Prince at that point.
Right.
So it was like, it ain't the money you used to making, but it's an opportunity.
So he didn't really know what you did exactly. He just kind of knew that you were affiliated with artists, but he didn't really know.
Yeah, he knew Mimi was my girl.
Yeah.
He knew he thought that I was doing security for the acts.
Right.
I wasn't doing security.
Right.
I was
producing the shows.
Right, but he didn't know. He thought I was doing security for him.
Right.
So he would see me out. They would always just see me out around town. And I would double as security because I'm like, why would I pay security? I just hang out with me.
Right. I'm big enough. Ain't nobody coming.
Big enough, ain't nobody messing with me. Right.
Right.
So that's how people would see me. So from that, the very first trip that I took with them was to London to do the album He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper. And that's actually where.
So wait, you had 2 open cases and was flying overseas?
Because I went to London. I had 2 open cases. I beat the case in July. End of July, and then we went to London that following November.
Oh, okay.
To do the album.
Right.
And we stayed there for 30 days, and we did He Did I'm the Rapper.
So that album was done in London?
Completely, totally. Pre-production was done in Jeff's basement.
Right.
Right, but the recorded was in Zamba, studios in
London.
London.
Yeah, Zamba, that's
a lot of
right.
the stuff
Yeah.
from Jive
Yeah,
was
right,
overseas.
right.
Oh, yeah.
So Nigel Green and Q Harris, they were also producers along with Jeff and Will. So us 5 were in Piccadilly Circus in London.
So at this point, when you're
This is 87.
and you're cool with Jeff, do you know
Me and Jeff go to school together.
So you don't know Fresh Prince, you don't know Will Smith at that point.
He just was coming out, literally just coming out with girls.
Okay.
Like it didn't break yet. Jeff had did the live at Union Square, so that was kind of fresh, like out there. So just really kind of bubbling at that point. Yeah, just kind of bubbling at that point. So we go to London. We there for 30 days. Actually, Will had did an original version to Charlie Mack First Out the Limo. It was going Charlie Mack, the first out the limo. Charlie, and Jeff was like, "Man, I got you.
We're not doing that."
So he went on and he's like, "Charlie, I got you. I'm gonna take care of you." He came back with the beat and everything. Of course, what y'all know to be Charlie Mack First Out the Limo. But actually, who named me Charlie Mack First Out the Limo was MC Breeze.
Wow,
the singing MC Breeze. I was the first person I ever did security for. Was MC Breeze.
Is that Ain't No Future in the Front?
No, that's MC Breed.
That's what I said. Yeah. Oh my God!
Shout out to MC Breeze. I actually just saw Breeze.
The original singing MC.
Yeah,
he was Drake before Drake.
Right,
indeed.
Right.
What song do I know from him?
Well, he actually had a record called "Go For It" on this Rocky 4, Rocky 5 soundtrack. That was his big record.
Sir.
Okay,
that was his big record. Go For It.
Okay.
But he had a record. He put out a record where he was talking about he went to a Chinese joint and got Chinese food, and he was the first record that got boycotted. Because he was talking about Chinese people.
Right.
Oh,
you know
wow.
what I mean? Like mocking the way they talk.
Doesn't smoke, right. You can't do that now. Can't do that
No.
now.
So he had a record called Discombobulator Booby Later. That was the name of the record, Discombobulator Booby Later. Okay. So it was weird because him, Schoolie D, they would draw the album cover. They produced their own records. They distribute their own records. They put out all their own records. So he had MOD Records, Master of Disaster Records. So I just was like, I want to be involved in this business. So I just kind of like gave myself a job.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to be security because I couldn't rap, couldn't produce. But I'm going to be security.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to get in. That's how I jumped in. And so Breeze was my first entry into doing security. And then me and him had some kind of like, we had our button at the head. And then Jeff came. And so he really feels like Jeff and him took me from him.
Right.
But it was like, again, timing. Everything was timing.
Right.
So jump back to doing the album. We come back and we hook up with Rush Management.
So you come back from London, you hook up with Rush Management.
And actually we go on tour with 2 Live Crew. It's crazy because
you go on tour. Who went on tour with 2 Live Crew?
Fresh Prince, Whistle. Watch this. Jazzo, young kid that Jazzo had with him.
Jay-Z.
Wow.
Right. So it was 2 Live Crew, Public Enemy, Jazz, Fresh Prince, Whistle, and Jazzo.
Not Whistle.
We
are the Whistle, and this is true. We like to do the things that we're not supposed to do. We don't mean robbing, stealing, or mugging,
or not to take it seriously.
We're only bugging. Yeah. So,
wow.
So it was crazy because
So was that tour like Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince? Was that like their first tour? Their first tour.
The first tour, right? Because Russell and Leora said, we have 2 tours for y'all. We got 2 Live Crew, and then we come off of that, we're going to do Run's House.
Right.
So
did you guys know how crazy the 2 Live Crew?
I'm about to tell you.
About to go there.
So you got to know that Jazzy Fresh Prince essentially are like the Cosby, they were like the good kids of rap. So we're there, the sheriffs are going around to each dress room saying that you have to sign an addendum that you're not going to curse.
What?
Yeah, right? So watch this. So now we don't know. Now watch this. When Russell tells us that we're going to go on tour, 2 Live Crew, and you got Public Enemy and you got Jazzy Fresh Prince, they up north. These guys are huge artists.
Right.
We're like, who the hell is 2 Live Crew?
Yeah.
He's like, trust me. They're like Run DMC in the South.
Right.
Right? He said, I promise you. So we was like, all right, so we go on tour. And all he did, hey, we want some pussy. Let me hear you say, hey. And so, of course, they didn't curse, none of that. The crowd
did it. The crowd did.
Wow.
Right.
So the sheriffs and stuff were steaming.
But there was nothing they could do. Yeah.
The crowd sang a song. They signed a letter they wouldn't do it. But guess what? The audience sang all the lyrics.
Wow.
Right?
That's super dope.
Then we do that tour. It's an amazing tour. And then now we get the word confirmed. Run actually requested Jeff and Will to be on the tour. He said if that kid could talk about he got punched in his eye and he stole his mother's car where she was with, he said, I like that kid. I want that kid to go on tour with me. So it was Jazzy Fresh Prince, No, it was Run DMC, Public Enemy, Jaja Fresh Prince, EPMD, and JJ Fad.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the best tour ever. Reason why? Because essentially, Run DMC was the Big Brothers, Public Enemy was the Militant Brothers, we were like the Nice Brothers, EPMD was the Baby Brothers, and JJ Fad was the Baby Sister.
Right. So you had a little bit of everything on that.
And everybody played their part.
Right.
Nobody was tripping because simultaneously the Def Jam tour went out. So that was like Eric B. and Rakim, LL, Houdini, Biz Markie, Ice-T. It was like the violence versus the calm.
Right.
So it was that was a great tour that we did. Coming off of there, I've known Nate from Boyz II Men since he was 3 years old.
Okay.
He grew up on the next block from me.
Okay. So at this point, after a couple of those tours, you're acting as security.
I'm security at that point.
Right.
Got your Fresh Prince. I became the road manager.
You became just kind of morphed into becoming the road manager.
Yeah, because I'm saying, again, that was my entry into it, but I was never, ever really security. I always had aspirations of business.
Right.
Period. But again, that was my entry level into it. I couldn't rap. I couldn't produce.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm 6'7", 250-something pounds. Okay, security. But Jeff, that's what he offered me. So of course, you know what I mean? But again, I always had my nose sticking in. Yeah, so you should do it, and you should do, and you should do. So
how did you know Michael Bivins to bring Boyz II Men to him?
Well, I've known New Edition since '83. They used to come to Philly, of course. They would be in Philadelphia a lot doing Dancing on Air. There's a big like pop show locally in Philadelphia called Dancing on Air, and so I became friendly with. Again, I was going with Mimi as well. So Mimi, they would come to the radio station and they would do interviews there. And I'm a social, kind of guy, and I'm just kind of like, welcome them to the town, if you will.
Nice.
You need something.
I got you. Right.
So we formed the relationship from that point.
He was kind of like Red in Shawshank. Remember the Red in Shawshank?
Yeah.
You could get you whatever you needed, right?
Absolutely.
So wait.
Rita Ora.
Right.
Did you know all the guys, or did they come for Boyz II Men? Did they come to you as a group, or did you know one of them and you were like, okay, you need 2 more?
No. So I've known Nate since he was 3. Nate essentially was Roscoe Martin's character he played on Roscoe. He was kid, right?
With the snot coming out his nose.
So all I remember up until that point was seeing him and his mother and father and his sister and brother going to church every Sunday, and they were a choir. It was singing, and I remember him doing that. But then Nate was in a rap group called JDTR.
Okay.
So he was in a rap group.
Please tell me what JDTR stood for.
I don't even know.
Just doing it tough now.
Probably something. So I remember coming back off a tour. Mimi at the time, of course, my girlfriend. She said, "I want you to go to. I have an event that I got to go to. And I got to host. I want you to go." I go to the event.
Hey, Mimi was kind of dope though. Mimi kind of looked out. Yeah.
No, Mimi was. No, she was.
Yeah. No. Shout out to Mimi.
Whatever.
So I go there and 5 guys run up to me. Okay.
Five guys with one of them being Nate who you already knew.
Right.
5 okay.
So at the time, Mark Nelson. Okay.
Mark Nelson, who ended up going to be an As Yet.
Return of the
Mack. I'm going to tell you before that.
No, that's Mark Morrison.
That's what I said. Y'all don't listen correctly.
So Mark Nelson, Michael Sean, Nate Wanye.
Okay.
He runs up to me and said, "Yo, that's Charlie Mack. Tell him you know me. Tell me." Of course I know you. Nate.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's like, "This is my group, Boyz II Men." He says, "Can you listen to us sing?" I said, "Well, when y'all going to sing?" He said, "We go up next." They got up on stage. They sang "Can You Stand the Rain."
Was this at a talent show
It was basically every year. It was called Susquehanna Day. Community Day.
All right.
Susquehanna Day. So they get up there and sing "Can You Stand the Rain." I'm like,
and they kill it.
Damn.
Right.
So they come off stage. They say, "What you think? What you think?" I said, "Listen." I said, at the time, of course, Will was Fresh Prince. I said, "I'm gonna introduce you to Fresh Prince." They were like, "You right? Really? I said, I went home. I said, "Will, this group," and Will at the time was 18, 19, so he's totally in his life.
In his right.
So I said, "Will, we got to sign this group." He's like, "All right, cool. We will talk about it." I said, "I need to get in touch with Ann. We got to sign this group." So Will's not thinking about me.
Right.
Come to L.A., the Palladium. Mike Tyson has a birthday party there. Michael Bivins, BBD were there. I said, "Mike, I got this group in Philly named Boyz II Men. They sing y'all songs."
Was Mike the only one that you knew from New Edition, or you knew everybody?
I knew all of them.
Okay.
Like, BBD was at the party.
Yeah.
I said, "I got this group in Philly named Boyz II Men. They sing y'all songs better than y'all sing them." He's like, I said it to him, really. He said, "Man, please." I said, "I'm telling you, they will out-sing y'all." He said, we'll be in Philly next week at Powerhouse. Bring them to the show. Get back to Philadelphia. I called the guys up. I said, yo, if you had the opportunity to meet someone, who would you want to meet? He was like, what? I said, if you had the opportunity to audition for somebody who, of course.
New audition. Right.
I said, I'm going to get your audition with him. What? So about a week later, the PD from the station, Dave Allen, he comes up. He said, Charlie, you got this group, Boyz II Men, looking for you? I said, yeah. So 2 of them had snuck in the front door. I went and got the other 3. BBD had finished their set. They were ready to leave. They said, Charlie, where the group at? Next thing you know, we walk in backstage. About 100 people backstage. Of course, on 3, they start singing. The acoustics is right. Everything is right. And they sing, they sing "Can You Stand the Rain?" And you know how all the groups come in the city for the radio station's birthday party.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's essentially what happened to us. Everybody was on tour. They sang. So after the show was over, Mike said, Charlie, we can do this together. I said, well, hold up for a minute because I'm trying to sign him with Will over at Jive Records.
So if you were trying to sign him with Will, what was your idea? You just wanted them to sing for Mike just because that's who they really wanted to sing for?
Will,
or did you have an idea?
Will wasn't as enthused.
Focused, right?
Okay, yeah.
I need to get this done before it went out of my hand.
Right.
So, of course, I'm saying Boyz II Men, no audition.
Makes sense, right.
Right. So, so he says, we can do the deal like that. I said, well, hold up, I'm trying to do something with Will. I leave out of town the next day. Mike flies his car into Philadelphia gets his car, shipped down to Philly. He takes him up to New York, signed with Joe Busby.
With Busby. So did you know all that was happening at that point?
I didn't know that he had took him up there.
You didn't?
I found out a week ago.
Typical Mike.
Hey, that's how big that's.
I found out a week later. So when you see the portrayal in the film,
right?
I don't know if y'all know.
No, absolutely. I used to work at Motown.
Yeah.
I used to work for Mike, so I understand.
So my son played me in the movie.
Okay.
My group, Brotherly Love, played No Audition because it was 5. My group played Boyz II Men
in the movie.
There was 5 of them.
Yeah.
So and then Yaz played Michael Bivins.
Right.
But it didn't happen that way. It happened the way that I was telling you.
Yeah.
And so
hold on. Mm-hmm. So you find out a week later that Mike had taken them to New York and signed them.
Yeah, to Joe.
How did you find that out, and how did you feel at that point?
I was extremely upset, of course, naturally. I called Nate up right away. You know what I mean? And Nate was saying, he was like, I thought you and him was working it out.
Right.
I'm like, what do you mean thought we was working out? If I wasn't there,
we didn't work nothing out.
Work out.
Right.
So I had to sue him. And I did sue him.
Oh, wow.
So you ended up suing
Michael Bivins.
Hold on. So was there any paperwork between you and Boyz II Men?
Let me tell you the irony about it. And I didn't even know this. So I'm disgruntled, like beyond disgruntled. They're blown up and everything. At this point, they're blown up. I'm sitting at home, and the Arsenio Hall show come on. And BBD is on it. He said, well, how did you find Boyz II Men? He said, I didn't. This guy was down with Fresh Prince and DJ Jeff, Charlie Mack. My lawyer hit me up right away. He said, yo. He
said your name. Right. He validated it.
Got him. So that's what got him. So we went and so
have you had any conversations with Mike after he signed them and all that, or were you kind of just?
Oh yeah. I talked to him.
Was it a conversation or was it like
it got aggressive.
Yeah,
it definitely got aggressive. You know what I mean? But Mike is and I love him today. We cool tight today. But at that point, I wanted to sit him on the shelf.
Yeah,
for sure.
You want to be the elf on the shelf?
Yeah,
because he's not that big.
Yeah,
I don't know how big that man is.
So with that being said, we went through the whole proceedings and everything, and then we decided to settle out of court.
Settle out of court,
right? And Will was like, "Dude, what do he give you? Okay, what you supposed to get?" So it was like the cash, and it was like supposed to be a record deal. And he was like, "Man, listen, we doing way better. Don't worry about that. Just leave that alone." I left it alone.
Wow.
I left it alone. Then a couple years moved.
Okay, when the whole lawsuit and all that was going on, was that aimed, or was it a lawsuit to Michael Bivins, or was it Motown?
Michael Bivins.
Just Michael Bivins. Okay.
Michael Bivins, because my agreement was with Michael Bivins.
Got you.
It wasn't with Boyz II Men.
Yeah.
And it wasn't with Motown.
And your idea at that point, you wanted to manage Boyz II Men?
Along with him. I wanted to do.
You want to do it together?
My was together.
Right.
Production company and management together.
Got you. Okay.
Right. Because again, I'm putting them in a position to change their life.
Absolutely.
Obviously, it proved to change their life.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They're going to sell 60 million plus records.
Right.
Not 60.
Yeah.
Jesus. I remember Boyz II Men came to my high school and performed Motown Philly, and because we were hood and ratchet in the middle of Watts, we were like, boo! Oh my God, where's Immature? Boo!
Hysterical.
Yeah.
Hysterical.
Really?
And you booed him for Immature?
Yeah.
If you would have said Jodeci, I would have given you a pass, but you said
we
Immature.
were like, bring on Batman. Boo!
Wow. So hold on, AM Caffeine Show. Charlie Mack is in the building, dropping Jules, my goodness. So Smooth D, there's so much more.
Man, we
as
just
know.
need to cool. We need to take a break.
All right, so here's
and
what I
cool
wanna
off
do.
for this one.
Let's go into a mix real quick. Let's just do a quick
mix.
10 minutes. We're going to come back because, damn, there's so much I need to ask Charlie Mack. The AM Caffeine Show. Charlie Mack is in the building. You don't want to go nowhere. It's the AM Caffeine Show.
Yeah.
Let's go, Smooth D. AM Caffeine Show. Smooth D in the ones and twos. Smooth D, you came with some classics. I haven't heard that damn
Smooth
steady
D.
beat.
It's about
serious
hip hop,
in a
baby.
minute.
It's about hip hop.
Hey, Smooth D, I'm impressed. You gotta understand, I'm with the magnificent.
I mean, the magnificent Jazzy Jeff.
Listen to me. You definitely.
He did that.
Yeah, he did that, man.
Yeah. That's why he's still here. Because he's been kind of
I've been
on
fired
the
a
cusp.
couple
He's been
times.
fired a couple times, but I bring him
A few
back.
times?
A few times. Yeah.
Listen.
Hey, he may not be here next week.
He might have, but right now, for this moment, he's here.
AM Caffeine Show, Charlie Mack in the damn building. If you guys have, for some reason, you tripping and you missed the first part of this interview, let me tell you, just the story of Charlie Mack discovering Boyz II Men is so damn ill. If you got a chance to see the New Edition movie, and shout out to all my guys, Ronnie DeVoe, call me back. I text you today. To all my guys, and if you get a chance to, if you see the where Boyz II Men sings for Michael Bivins by the tour bus, it didn't happen like that.
No, it didn't happen like that.
It didn't happen like that. Charlie Mack was very influential.
34th and Civic Center Boulevard at the Civic Center.
That's where it happened.
That's where it happened on a Friday night.
At 8:12 p.m.
It was a misty night.
Backstage.
AM Caffeine. So Charlie. So now we talked about Boyz II Men. We talked about how you, got compensated somewhat, not the way that you should have. But at this point, Fresh Prince is doing what he's doing. He said, "Man, don't even trip on that because we got bigger and better things to do."
Yeah, definitely.
So
how did we get to?
Let's
Fresh
talk
Prince
about
of
the
Bel-Air?
Fresh Prince.
So it was where Janet Jackson, Rhythm Nation, she had extended, again, of course, different people have parties. They extend invites to different tastemakers and fellow artists.
Right.
So Jeff, so the group essentially was Jeff, Will, JL, which was the manager, which was Will's manager today, Ready Rock C, myself, Omar.
Omar's what? Shout out to Omar, one of the dancers.
Yeah, Omar Money, right?
So, you know what, Charlie? So you had went from security, you did road managing, and now Will is doing. Did you ever feel like you were in a position already to actually take on management by yourself?
Yeah. I absolutely, because again, for me, I moved in that way. You know what I mean? I moved in that way. I was definitely sticking my nose and my finger in things I probably shouldn't have, because it's called tortious interference.
Right.
That's a legal term for
Tortious.
that.
Yeah.
Tortious interference. Yeah.
Tortious.
Yeah, it's when someone has a management and you are knowledgeable of it, and you go and, okay, I'm taking him, because really taking him to L.A. was out of pocket because he has a manager.
Like,
He had a manager,
I'm like,
which
you acting
really that
real
was his
tortuous.
responsibility. Yeah.
Tortuous.
So did you never had like a conversation with like, Will, I think I can manage you in that way, or you could none of that?
No, because I'm saying JL essentially. JL was the one that was the business guy,
Right? And that James Lasseter.
Yeah,
James Lasseter.
He was the business guy.
Okay, gotcha.
He was originally started off as being a road manager. The original manager was Lorenzo Penn.
Okay,
and so JL was the road manager. You know what I mean? But again, he grew up with Jeff, of course, on Rodman Street and Hazel Street, so blocks right beside each other.
Okay.
So Jeff and JL grew up together. JL was Jeff's friend. Will grew up in Winfield.
Okay.
I grew up in Southwest South Philly. North Philly, South Philly, things like that. So, 15 minutes from each other.
Right.
So, no, I never had that because we were family. We were brothers. You know what I mean? So I want to take nothing or even, come at him in a way that would be anything disrespectful.
Right.
Yeah,
And maybe make the friendship feel a little weird or whatever.
Yeah, it got weird for a little bit. You know what I mean? Because again, me and Will. It was weird because Jeff hired me, but me and Will's personality really gravitated towards
each other. Right.
We lived together for probably like 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
Like literally, Will would not come outside at a point without me.
Right.
Like for about a good solid 3 years. So we really so it was Jeff and Will and me and JL and Jeff.
And you and Will.
And this happened in London.
Okay.
So me and Will were roommates, and JL and Jeff were roommates.
Okay.
And so our personalities disconnected. You know what I mean? Like again, I was very outgoing. Will, of course, was young. We both were young. I was 19. He was 17.
Wow.
Yeah, 16. 17. I was 20. He was 17. And so we just became really, really, friendly and just bonded. And so from that, the invite from Janet Jackson came. We came out to L.A. And I was like stunned by like what was going on.
Is that your first time coming to California?
First time coming to L.A. was 87. 86, 87.
I don't know how you know these dates.
Yeah,
Okay.
86, 87. So we come out here, and I'm just blown away. Eddie Murphy invited us to his home. At that point, went there. It was the first time I ever seen I call it a convertible house.
Right.
Retractable roof. We were sitting in the living room, and we was like, "Why did it get cold?"
Yeah. The roof opened up.
And the roof was like, "Oh shh!"
House ain't got no roof.
Like, what the hell? Yeah, exactly.
And at this point, what music did Will have out? So what songs were out that blew up so big that now kind of got you dealing with? Parents Don't Understand.
Parents Don't Understand. Brand New Funk.
Okay.
All of them out at that time. And they're at this point they had about 3 million records sold.
Okay.
So they're big. They're
right.
huge.
Yeah,
they're huge.
yeah.
Huge.
So did Janet Jackson give y'all Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Okay, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we get the invite to Rhythm Nation party.
Okay.
Because they came out the same time. 88 came out the same time. 87, 88 came out the same time. She invites us to the party. We come out, we go to the party. And I'm like, this is the life. This is what we need to be at.
Yeah.
Forget all that. That's what we need to be. Go back home. I said, well, we got to think about something outside of this music. I don't even know what made me think of that at that point. Wow. We got to think about something to do outside of this because this hip hop stuff ain't gonna last forever.
Yeah. So
the destination place in LA in the 80s and the early 90s was Arsenio Hall.
Yeah.
So every time we come to LA, it was 3 things we would do. We go to Quadna's, the rental car. Quadna's, African boy up over near the airport. We go get rent a car. Then we would absolutely go to Roscoe's.
Right.
Absolutely go to and Roscoe's was around the corner from Arsenio.
For Arsenio, right there on Gower.
So we would do that. So this particular day, Kwame said, Michael Jackson gonna be there today. Like, what? Oh, we going. We definitely going. All right, so we get the Mercedes convertible, man wheel. We riding. We go over there. We sit in the audience. I look over in the corner. The whole thing back in the day was reading the album credits.
Yes.
So Naughty by Nature. No, at that point, I'm trying to think who was signed to Warner Brother Records. Anyway, I'm looking at the credits and I knew Benny Medina. Mm-hmm. I look over the corner, I see Benny Medina standing. I was like, well, that's Benny Medina. He's like, who? So that's Benny Medina. I say, the GM of Warner Brother Records. I said, I'll be back. I walk over to him. I said, how you feeling? I said, my name is Charlie Mack. I said, I'm here with the Fresh Prince. He said, who? I said, the guy, the Fresh Prince, Parents Don't Understand. He said, what are you doing out here? And I don't know where it came from. I said, we're interested in doing some TV guest spots. He said, he wants to do a TV show?
Yeah.
I said, yes, I got an idea for him. 6 weeks later, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air pilot.
Sit on my throne, Prince of Bel-Air. Nice. Fast forward how many years?
Now what happened was they shot the pilot. Benny was just the one in the driver's seat at that point. He took it to Brandon Turnikoff, right? And Brandon Turnikoff turned it down. Mm-hmm. So then Quincy he called Quincy, and Quincy took it over to Les Moonves. And he said, if you don't buy this show, I'm going to sell it to him. So he picked up the show. He just kind of did the bully.
So at that point, so you did the pilot without having a home or this?
After.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
What happened was he met with Quincy. Went and flown and met with Quincy, and I want to say we were in Detroit, came out to fly and meet with Quincy. From that, they shot the pilot, and then the rest is history. As far as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
So, Charlie, with you orchestrating that, was there any? Were you part of the creation of it? Were they're co-producing?
No, that was just my brother. I was just like.
So you were just like, I'm with you. I'm trying to make it happen.
We just rocking.
No, I got you. I've done the same thing and mad.
Wasn't even on that type of time.
Got you.
Like this, my man.
I bet you can't do it with a girl. Bet you can't do it with a black girl.
Marlo shooting her shot.
What?
Again.
Yeah.
What?
No, shoot. Go ahead.
You got to have talent, though.
Who, what, where?
Right.
Marlo.
Who?
Okay, wait. Okay,
so is that? Go ahead, Marlo.
Okay. So this is totally off the subject, but I just need to know this. Mm-hmm. So you said within like a couple of years, you shot from being 5-something to 6'4".
6'5".
6'5".
I was 15, war size 15, and I was 6'5".
Okay. Have you always because you are very high energy.
Yes.
Have you always been agile, or did you go through a period to where you were like goofy? Really goofy and
never ever? Because really, to be honest, even right now, I think I'm like, not that you're a short man, but I think I'm his height. Like I don't feel tall. I do small people stuff.
You know what
I mean? Because I think I was telling you while we was on the break. I actually for a period was dancing for JJ Fresh Prince.
Oh my goodness!
Oh wow!
So I was not only that. When Nightmare on My Street, I was playing Freddie. So I used to be coming out. The kids were like, "Freddie ain't got no black head." You know what I mean? So I was huge. I used to put on this black shirt, and we have the mask and the knife hand glove. Yeah, it was crazy. I did whatever I needed to do.
Right,
right. But see, the thing about it, nobody had, the only two spots were firm was Jeff and Will's spot. Everything else you get in. You picking up bags, you carrying the equipment.
Right, whatever you needed to do.
You dancing, whatever we need to do. We was the 2 damn hype posse.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so yeah, I wanted to be just need to be involved.
Right.
And so security wasn't enough for me. It didn't satisfy me. So I just wanted to be involved. So I always had aspirations of doing something more elevated and in a managerial capacity.
And now you're working with Yaz.
Yeah, Yaz, Hakeem, Bashir Gray from Empire, yeah. But I mean, there were things, Miss Jade happened before then, Meek Taylor, Meek Mill, and then of course Yaz.
So while you still, obviously you have such a deep-rooted Philly connection, because then we're talking about all these folks being from from Philly.
Yeah, I'm so pro Philly.
Right.
Pro Philly. They say charity starts at home.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm Muslim.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I take that to heart.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I call my company 215 affiliated. I'm from the 215, but I'm affiliated with the world.
Right.
And that's really how it is.
So with Yaz, at this point, you guys are familiar with Yaz from, what he's done in Empire. Also played Michael Bivins in the New Edition story. And by far was the standout actor talent in the New Edition story.
That was it was a reason why that happened, though. We did something that, again, and everybody else did great, but they didn't go through the process that we went through. And again, I would say we had a cheat sheet, because essentially what we did with Ali when we filmed Ali and we were preparing for Ali is we walked in Ali's life.
Right.
Did the same thing. Once we got the role that we were going to do it, I took Yaz to Boston.
Right. Let him feel what's going on.
To Boston. So he talked to Mike's mom. He went where the actual projects used to be at. He went to Mike's Recreation Center. He talked to Mike's childhood friends. The rest of them didn't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And no knock on them, because
everybody did a great job, but by far Yaz was the standout.
And another cheat sheet was because I knew New Edition.
Right.
So I knew, what's up, B?
just the way that they speak.
Right. So if you listen to, that's why his interpretation of Mike was spot on.
It absolutely was.
Because again, and Mike is the most distinctive voice out
absolutely.
Of all of them. You know what I mean? So for me, I was able to give what I did one time. We had a meeting. The very first meeting we had Mike when I took Yaz down there, I was recording Mike without him knowing, because I didn't want him to be acting Mike. I wanted him to be Mike.
Right.
So I would play that for Yaz every morning before he would go on set.
Wow.
Whatever the dialogue is we play that. So, yo fellas, a car.
Yeah.
The car. So things like that. I gave him.
I don't want no more cars.
I gave him all of that. You know what I mean? Fellas, we home, fellas. You know what I mean? So I was like, that's what you got to say. You got to, those are things going to stand out, because you don't look like Mike.
Right.
But if you close your eyes, or if you embody
you think it is him.
Right. And that's essentially what Will did. Will wasn't Ali. He was an interpretation of Ali.
Right.
And I followed that same format with Yaz doing Michael Bivins.
Right.
Because he's and I didn't want him to be, it was on purpose why I did that. Because the show was so big that I didn't want him to be Carlton or Urkel.
Right.
So I was like, okay, do something very distinctive.
Right.
Michael Bivins.
Right.
Right. It's a very distinctive group, very distinctive tone from Boston.
Right.
And we got to make sure that you are him.
Right.
You got to sound like him. We can't see Hakeem.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And we did that successfully.
No, absolutely you did. AM Caffeine Show, Charlie Mack in the damn building. Smoothie. I think we're going to have to do another, whenever Charlie comes back out here.
It's too much to
It's so much to discuss, right?
The legacy.
AM Caffeine Show. So, Charlie,
yes,
how can folks find you social media-wise, Instagram, Twitter?
Charlie Mack First Out. Charlie Mack First Out.
That's it.
Charlie Mack First Out.
That's what it is.
Charlie Mack First Out.
Charlie Mack First Out. Charlie Mack First Out.
Charlie Mack First Out.
Charlie Mack First Out.
That's what I became infamous off on the international side. So Charlie Mack First Out.
That's what it is. The AM Caffeine Show. My goodness.
Yes.
So dope. If you guys happen to miss this episode will be on other platforms. It'll be on SoundCloud. If for some reason you do not catch one of these airings, again, go to amcaffeine.com, amcaffeine.com right now. You can find all the stations that carry the AM Caffeine Show. Yeah. And Charlie, I always see Charlie in passing, moving around in circles. And like Marlo said, he's a very high energy type of guy. He'll give you a pound. Hey, what's up? And and as big as he's like, that mug is kind of swift. You turn around, he's gone.
No, really. And he's a genuinely good person to everybody he meets. Whether just every time you speak, like when we were coming into the studio, just some random dudes was walking out. And he was like, "Hey, how you feeling, fellas?"
Absolutely.
But that's how you got to be.
Well, you got to be that way. Right?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
again, I'm saying people, like I'm 6'7".
Right.
So already this is my stature.
Right.
I got to bring that to the point. Like it's one of the things I do in meetings.
You got to unarm people.
Right. I go and sit down real quick.
Yeah.
Because I'm already imposing.
Right.
Right. And I don't want nobody feeling like I'm trying to impose. So
I say that too.
yeah,
I do that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You right. Yeah.
Marlo, if you don't.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll turn our mic off.
Sit down.
Real quick.
You have to sit down real
I
quick.
have to sit down.
You're imposing.
AM Caffeine Show. You guys enjoy your day. Make sure you rock with us each and every Wednesday and Friday at the AM Caffeine Show. We up out of here. Marlo J. Smooth D. You know what we do? In your mouth. Charlie Mack. Anytime. Open door policy, my brother. Thank you so much. AM Caffeine Show. You guys enjoy your day. Peace.
Please.